Okay, and we are live. Tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another look at Counter-Strike Global Offensive. You guys may have remembered a couple of weeks back I made a quick little video of me playing around in Counter-Strike. I'm not a gamer, so the video was really just kind of having fun and poking a bit of fun at a lot of other Linux channels that do some gaming, because I'm not a gamer. So I messed around in Counter-Strike Global Offensive for a little bit in that particular video. It was about a 15-20 minute video, and I looked pretty bad playing the game, and I really haven't played around in it since because, again, I'm not a gamer. It's not something that interests me, and quite frankly, I just don't have the time for it. But tonight I figured, I've got a little time. I should, A, play a game. I'm just in the mood to play a game. I figured give Counter-Strike Global Offensive another shot. B, since I've got a little free time, also do a live stream. So kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to play Counter-Strike Global Offensive on the live stream. And of course, anybody that wants to join in the chat, and I hope a few people join the chat along the way. I may not be answering any questions, at least not on the keyboard in the chat, for those of you that joined the chat, because it may be difficult for me to, travel my my mouse and keyboard from the game into the chat window here, because the game is going to capture my keyboard and mouse. But you guys that have any kind of comments about the game or about anything regarding Linux, Linux in the news, or any of my recent videos, anything at all, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and join a game. And as people join the chat, I am going to ask for a little bit of feedback on the audio levels and everything, because I am really not sure what this is going to sound like on your end. Of course, on my end, it sounds like I'm playing the game, and the audio is kind of blasting through the headphones. But I'm playing around in Open Broadcaster software, OBS, and I've asked it to reduce the desktop audio volume on the recording. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Dust2 here. By the way, my username here is Uniboner. I'm private is my rank. I may also ask for help from anyone in the chat along the way. Again, I don't know much about this game. I haven't played it that much, so if I struggle with any kind of keyboard commands, or I don't know exactly what to do in certain situations, you guys feel free to help me out. Alright, the outer aiming reticle indicates the spread of your weapon. The wider it is, the more inaccurate your shot will be. Okay. So whatever weapon I pick up, the bigger the reticle, the more inaccurate that particular weapon is. The tighter the reticle, then obviously the more accurate, more precise you can be with it. So I'm assuming like rifles with scopes are going to have a very small, tight reticle, and they're going to be, of course, more accurate weapons. Looks like I'm going to have to join Team Terrorist here. Yep, Uniboner is joining the terrorist force. In my last game, I played a couple of times as Team Terrorist, and one time they actually gave me the bomb to plant, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I hope I don't end up with the bomb.
You may be fat, but
Of course, we got kids chatting in the channel. Alright, so I'm starting with a handgun. Looks like I'm starting with the Glock 18. But I'm going to switch to the AK because that's obviously a much better weapon. The Glock is a fine weapon, but of course, nothing beats an AK, especially if you're a terrorist. Ooh. Flashbang. Alright. The real question is, how aggressive do I want to be in this game? Especially since I'm pretty much a noob. I mean, do I want to just go all John Rambo and just rush you in, or do I want to take it easy? Maybe let these guys go first. See, like that guy that just got killed right in front of me. I'm glad I let him go first, because that would have been me. Oh, dang. Somebody shot me, like, through the wall there. Yep. Tough game here. Tough game. Alright, guys. While we're waiting for people to join the chat, I'm going to pause. I'm going to mute my mic just for a second. I want to listen to the desktop audio and check the sound levels here.
Come on, he got it. He got it. Clutches it. Ah, it's patience. He got it. He got it.
Okay.
Okay, the dude that just crash sprays is just bad. Okay.
Hey, Ron Lee. How's it going?
Was that on purpose, or was that just super unlucky?
Hey, Ron, help me out here a bit. How's the sound level, both on my mic and on the in the game? In particular, is the sound from the game a little too high to you? Sounds good to you? Okay, that's what I was hoping. I tried to turn down the desktop audio quite a bit so it wasn't too loud, it wasn't overpowering me on the mic. And of course Tony is in the chat. Hey Derek. Hey Tony. And tonight I'm playing Team Terrorist, which is kind of bad since I'm kind of new to the game. If I end up being the one that has to detonate the bomb, I'm not sure if I know what to do there. Oh, I shot my own teammate. That's not good.
Yes, lower tongues. Get him with a knife, though.
Well,
Come on.
Come on.
Team Terrorist won.
No respect for that auto.
Okay.
No respect.
No respect.
No respect.
There's
no
like
respect. No respect.
18 kids here trying to chat. Some problem with public games. You got these like 13-year-old kids. They've never been able to, you know, get on the family computer while mom and dad are out on date night. So here they are by themselves playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and then you know they're gonna probably talk a lot of obscenities here on my live stream. So forgive me for that if any of these kids say something kind of crazy or even offensive. I'll try to keep it clean too.
Goes, I got to goes. So I'm just gonna go to CT spawn and.
Alright, I'm joining the counter-terrorists.
And then we'll leave. So
Alright.
playing with you guys.
I'm gonna go ahead and trade my pistol in for a M4A4. The M4 is a great weapon.
It's 3 flawless.
Wow. I can't believe I'm not dead. Those guys should have killed me there.
Come on, I got 20 seconds to get 6 more kills. Come on, let me get him. I gotta go. Freaking loser killed me.
Ah, you gotta be kidding me. He killed me with a knife? What did he kill me with? Yeah, he killed me with a knife. Yeah, okay, sure. I've got an AR. He killed me with a knife. No way. Okay, now we're starting the real game. That was just warm-up. And I'm starting with a handgun, a P2000. Let's see what I can do with the handgun. Apparently not much. You know what? The next time, I'm just gonna like follow everybody else and let these guys that actually know what they're doing do all the heavy lifting, and I'll just take credit for it at the end if I happen to be alive when we win. Guy in the chat says, "Yo, what's going on, Guy?" We have Fidel Arnold says hi. Hello. They're about to set the bomb. Team Terrorist is probably going to win this one. It's not looking good for my team, the Counter-Terrorist. Well, this dude has like a custom paint job on his pistol. What kind of terrorist has a pistol that's got like Cerakote on it? TJ, how are you doing today? Just relaxing for a bit here this evening. Worked earlier today. Now I'm relaxing, having a beer. Figured I'd play a little bit of Counter-Strike. You guys know I don't game really at all, so this should be interesting. Alright. Now that I died, I got a little more money. I can buy my M4 back, it looks like. My #1 distro, Fidel Arnold asks. Well, there is no really #1 distro, but I do like Debian. Because typically I like stable distros, you know, static release distros, rather than rolling release, and Debian is fantastic for that. But really, I have no, like, this distro is absolutely the best kind of thing. Dang, I can't believe I lived through that. I was barely paying attention. But, I mean, I like Arch, like a lot of the Arch-based distros, like mainline Arch itself. I like Ubuntu, especially the LTS. Again, I like stable distros, so the LTS versions of Ubuntu are nice. Some of the ones that have impressed me that I've looked at on the channel that I've never run on physical hardware, I'm thinking about maybe installing Calculate Linux on physical hardware soon, because I've really been impressed the 2 or 3 times I've looked at it on the channel. Antix is another Debian-based distro that I've reviewed a couple of times on the channel, and I really like it. I guess, long story short, there's no #1 distro. There's a bunch of distros that if they were the only distro out there, I would be comfortable living in them forever, you know. Everything from Gentoo all the way to Ubuntu, you know, and everything in between. If that distro was the only distro, yeah, I would use it rather than use Windows. Ron Lee mentions Debian distros. There's always a nagging issue with getting Wi-Fi going. Yeah, I have noticed that too. Matter of fact, not just Debian, some Debian-based distros, Ubuntu's LTS I mentioned. I had that on my laptop, and I was having some problems with the Wi-Fi on it when I first installed Ubuntu on it. Solus, I recently installed Solus on that laptop, and Wi-Fi works right out of the box. No issues at all. But again, the Ubuntu I was using was 1604, the LTS. That's almost 2 years old, so I would expect, you know, some improvements, especially in the kernel in the last 2 years. So better hardware support probably from every distro in the last 2 years. So much of that is taken care of by the kernel. So TJ, he has Calculate Linux installed on a drive for Gentoo. Easy is awesome. Yeah, this desktop that I'm actually recording this stream on is running Manjaro. You guys know I've been running Manjaro. This is the open box window manager. That's what I've got on it. Soon I plan on changing distros, probably within about 2 weeks. I'll wait about 2 weeks. Think about what I want to live in for, 2 or 3 months here. Install something new and run it for a little while, live in it. Wow, I actually killed a couple of terrorists right at the end, but it didn't help us. The bomb still exploded, huh? A random question. What is my favorite version of Windows? Well, I didn't use that many versions of Windows. Obviously the first version of Windows I used was Windows 3.1 way back in the day. Of course, went through Windows 95, 98, and then XP. And that was the last Windows version I've used that I actually had on a machine I own. So I never used Vista 7, 8, or 10. But of the Windows versions I used, Windows 95 was probably the best thing they ever put out, that Microsoft ever did. After that, it just became worse and worse and worse. More bloated, more slow. Ron Lee mentions MX17-1 just came out. Yep. Yeah, I saw that announcement on the, was it DistroWatch recently about MX. MX is great too. If I was going to choose a XFCE distro to live in, MX would probably be the one. Although I don't know, there's a lot of really good XFCE distros. But MX is probably the one that's got the most support behind it right now. It seems like everybody is running MX right now, or is switching to MX. It's definitely on the rise as far as popularity. Alright, somebody needs to go defuse the bomb here before we lose. And we lost again. Ron Lee, they have a great community. The MX community, yeah. I've heard that from a lot of people actually, that they're really good guys over there at MX. Alright, I'm just gonna wait for some of these guys to go, and I'm gonna follow them. I'm tired of just dying early every time. I'm gonna watch some of these guys die first. Oh, flashbang. That's not good. Wow, he's got a red rifle. How did he get like an M4 that was painted like neon red? Dang, I'm almost dead. Hey Derek, do you know something about Lunar? No, I'm not sure what you're asking about. Is that a distro? What is Lunar? Wow. Well, at least I got a couple of kills there before they took me out. And it's crazy that I was able to kill those two guys I did, because I only had like 13 health there. So if they would have just tapped me at all, I would have been dead. Apparently they're worse at this game than I am. Because to be honest, I'm pretty bad at this. Yeah. Wow, we actually won though. Alright. Team Counter-Terrorists starting to get it together. One thing I haven't taken a look at that a lot of other Linux channels have been doing in the last week, all the Ubuntu 18.04 flavors released their Beta 1 editions. I haven't taken a look at any of them. Some of them, though, I had been following the daily builds, so I've actually looked at mainline Ubuntu a couple of times in the last couple of weeks in VM, downloading some of the daily builds, checking out what they're doing. But I need to download some of the betas and take a look at them. Particular Ubuntu Budgie. I really like Ubuntu Budgie. Fidel Arnold, it would be cool if we could run Windows games without Wine being installed. Well, the only way to run Windows games is to run them in Windows, because those games are written to run in Windows. If the manufacturer of that game does not write it to run in Linux, it won't run in Linux. So there's... So your choices are run it in Windows, install Windows in a VM and run it in Windows in a VM, or try to run it in Wine if it'll work in Wine. That's really your only options if a game is Windows only. My advice is, if you plan on actually living in Linux and really getting away from Windows, like now, I've been in Linux so long, I just completely ignore everything for Windows as far as software. It just doesn't exist for me. You know, I see a game and it only runs on Windows or Mac. It's like it's not even there, because I'm not going to touch it. You know, there's so many games that do run on Linux now. There's no reason for me to choose something that is a Windows-only game anymore. But a lot of you guys coming from Windows, you're already invested in some of these Windows-only games, and that's unfortunate. And you know, then that becomes hard.
Like that one guy in Tunnels.
I know some of you guys, especially that play like the role-playing games, you know, you've been playing them for months or even years, and you just can't let them go. You know, you just can't. You've invested a lot of time. Some of you invested a lot of money in those games. Alan mentions Lunar is forked from Sorcerer. Okay, I've heard of Sorcerer. Yeah, it's a Linux distro. Source-based Linux distro, yep.
Somebody watch Cat. 1 mid. 2 mid.
Got you incoming.
So,
1 mid.
how would Lunar compare with something like Gentoo? Or isn't Void also Source built? I can't.
Got shot by window. Or from window.
Or actually, I think Void did have some binaries to it. I know it. It's been a while since I looked at Void. I still have Void somewhere, a VM of it. I haven't looked at it in a long time, though.
Watch mid.
Being a rolling release, though, that's not a good idea.
Mid. Bomb mid.
Alright.
Have I ever tried Slackware out before? I have tried it out in a VM, not on the channel. And the last one I tried was
2 did.
years ago.
Good
I
job.
went through the install, just took a look at the desktop, you know, after I installed it. And then, you know, this was probably 5-6 years ago. It's been a long time. Just to see what it was about a little bit, but I've never lived in Slackware, so I really can't comment too much on Slackware.
Rip.
From the sound of it, though, Slackware is not something that would really interest me too much, you know. I know, at least it was back in the day. I'm assuming it still doesn't have a
Let's go B.
package manager of any kind.
At least. Maybe we'll get it.
I know when I tried it out back in the day, it was a really, I guess the best word is kind of minimal, very simple kind of distro, or simplistic would be a better word.
I think they're all at top of mid. Maybe looking to go.
Definitely takes a special kind of Linux user to want to use something like Slackware.
Side, left to right. Oh, I just got shot at by something.
And Slackware is actually the oldest Linux distro still in development.
2 or 3.
Slackware, I believe, started 1993. It's just like I want to say a couple of months older than Debian. Debian, also still in development. Second oldest Linux distribution still in development is Debian. Of course, as things turned out. Debian, of course, is hugely popular today, and Slackware, you really don't hear much from it. It is still a rather niche kind of distro, you know. You don't see too many people run Slackware. You don't see a whole lot of distros based on Slackware.
Incendiary on cat. How many you got, cat?
Alright, got me one. I've been waiting to frag somebody.
Box one top of cat or on cat. It's kind of shortish.
Alright, let's see.
Mom's cat.
Got him. One mid. Two cat.
He's kind of lower.
One lower top.
Oh dang, I gotta reload. I'm out of ammo.
Behind that box.
Dang,
Oh, I almost got him.
I'm out of ammo. Do I have a handgun?
One window.
I've never run out of ammo before. Usually I'm dead before I run out of ammo. Alright.
He may be away. One behind.
Alright, we won.
Yeah, he was away. How am I 11-0?
And for those of you familiar with Slackware, we were talking about Slackware. How does Slackware handle like
Well, you're doing this
package
so-
dependencies and stuff? Is it I know package management sometimes can be an issue with Slackware. At least, you know, that was the case.
Like gold to the 3, I'm so bad.
You know, back when I knew a little bit about it. Like I said, I haven't played with it in years.
If you want to rank, I can help you out with that. I got a few counts.
I guess I could look at Slackware sometime on the channel. Total OS today, Toss. He misses the Halo days. Yeah, Halo was great.
Oh, that's very sucked. Fuck. Top mid. Tons.
Right.
I just
Team Counter-Terrorist is doing a lot better. Those first couple of games we got absolutely raped, and now we're really doing some good things here. I definitely joined the right team. These last couple of games have not even been close. I don't understand what's going on with the terrorists. They need to get it together.
best of us.
I mean,
I kind of want to go B just because that's where they keep going. Oh no.
wow. I shot an entire magazine and I hit nothing. This is why I don't game. No. Yeah, Toss, I saw your review of the beta of Ubuntu Budgie. How'd you like it? It's probably my favorite flavor of Ubuntu right now is the Budgie flavor. Really, really liked what they're doing. Although the Mate flavor that you love is great too. It's definitely solid.
Fuck, I'm not gonna
But I really like the Budgie desktop. Alan mentions, yeah, Halo was great back in the day, yeah.
Yes. 13-1.
Well done.
Alright. Team Counter-Terrorist. Won in a big way.
Go terrorist next round.
Maybe I should try Team Terrorist since I really need to figure out how Team Terrorist works, especially with that whole bomb thing. Not exactly sure how to set the bomb. Actually, now that I mention it, Team Counter-Terrorist, I don't even know how to defuse the bomb if I'd have been in a situation where it would have come to that. You mean when Halo was on PC? Well, that's what I remember about Halo, is playing it on the PC. I'm not sure what Toss may have been referring to. Matter of fact, I actually think in one of my old closets here of stuff, I have a Halo CD somewhere.
Through the door.
Wow.
Going through this.
That didn't last long there. Every now and then you get one of these like world-class players in this game and he just tears everybody up. I don't know. Of course, sometimes you get a hacker too doing that, but sometimes you get some amazing players that, I mean, treat this as a sport. I mean, they must live in this game. They can make some incredible shots.
Deku knifed somebody and I tried to knife him.
Yeah, Toss, Budgie seems nice, yeah. You know, I'm not a desktop environment guy. I don't think I would ever live in a full desktop environment anymore. I've just kind of gotten away from it. But if I did, Budgie might be it. It's everything that basically GNOME 3 should have been. Beautiful, fast, doesn't crash, you know. There are some bugs in Budgie. I've found the occasional bug, you know, playing around with like the panels and stuff. Every now and then you get something that's kind of glitchy, but it's Ubuntu Mate has nailed it for stability and speed. Yep, no doubt. Alright, we tag teamed him. Oh. Yeah. As much as I really dislike gaming and try never to do it, this has been pretty fun. I gotta admit. First-person shooters, though, are a little bit different than your average game because you can, you know, come in here 10 minutes, just shoot everybody, try to frag as many people as you can, and then get out. You know, the ones I hate are like the role-playing games, the massive multiplayer online games that want you to invest, you know, years of your life in. I can't do that. Yeah, Ubuntu Mate is better than
Yo, anybody got a smoke?
than your standard Ubuntu. I might agree with that now. I definitely, I mean, the new Ubuntu with the GNOME 3 is alright. It's not bad. I don't know if I would agree with Ubuntu Mate being better than like the Unity edition of Ubuntu, though, especially like the 1604 LTS. It was very solid too. If we're talking about stability and speed, it wasn't bad. GNOME 3, for some reason, though, really just uses too much CPU and memory, and I don't know why that is. It's like every other desktop environment is spending so much time trying to get their desktop to perform better, faster, lighter. GNOME 3 never does. There's never a new release of GNOME, and I'm like, oh, this feels a lot snappier than it used to. You never get that with them. Even KDE, which used to be just like a bloated, just pig of a desktop, is a lot faster than it used to be. Iron Man, hi DT. 16 years with Linux, i3 is my choice. Yeah. I need to check out i3. I mean, I've checked it out a couple of times for a few minutes at a time because some certain distros I've reviewed had i3 on it, but I've never lived in i3 or taken a serious look at it myself. I have lived in several other tiling window managers, though. I've lived in Awesome Window Manager before. I've lived in Qtile, a tiling window manager written in Python before. It's really nice. And pretty easy to configure, too, Qtile. If you're looking for something that's not too much of a challenge to get set up. And I've also lived in Xmonad,
Where?
which is kind of a beast to set up, but once you get it set up, Xmonad is very nice, especially if you use multi-monitors. If you've got like a 3-monitor or 4-monitor or even something like a 6-monitor setup,
They got me good.
Xmonad is just great for that.
Corners, you only looked right. He didn't notice you for a while.
LMAO. Hey DT, do you use MPV for your music and video playback? I sometimes do install MPV. If I do, I use it for video. I usually install dedicated audio players though. For audio, here lately I've been going with Dead Beef. Lightweight, minimal audio player. Works really nice. If I want a GUI audio player. If you're listening to music in the terminal, CMUS is a really, really great audio player. Of course, one I need to take a look at more in depth is this QMMP audio player that we were taking a look at recently on the Big Daddy Linux podcast. It looks lightweight, kind of easy to use, very similar to Dead Beef in that respect. I'm not sure I like the UI of it as much as I like Dead Beef's UI.
Come on, guys, we got.
Dead Beef's UI is very simple and intuitive. The QMMP one had some kind of weird win-out kind of theme look to it.
Yo.
But there's so many great audio players out there. If you want something kind of full-featured, something kind of big, Clementine is great. Actually, Rhythm Box, the GNOME audio player Rhythm Box is really nice. I probably would never install it on any system that wasn't running GNOME, but if I'm running a GNOME distro and Rhythm Box is installed, I'm not changing it. Iron Man, he mentions, yeah, he likes lightweight, XFCE, OpenBox, i3, yep. That's kind of my go-to is I always install OpenBox on every machine if I want a floating window manager, and I always install at least one tiling window manager on every machine. So I always have an OpenBox session and usually either a Xmonad or a Qtile session on my machines. And it's nice to have two minimal window managers installed on a system. That way, if you mess up with a config in one, you can actually log into the other to correct the problem. That way you don't have to drop down into the bash shell to try to fix everything. Eric 40, Linux Mint Fluxbox was nice back in Mint 7. Yeah, I forgot all about Mint had a Fluxbox edition way back in the day. I remember that thing. It wasn't bad. I'd actually tried it. You don't see too many Fluxbox distros. Actually, even back then you didn't see that many, but now nobody really makes a Fluxbox distro. Usually the only time you see Fluxbox installed is if it's like they're doing a minimal ISO and they want to put some kind of window manager on it. Fluxbox makes sense because it comes with a panel out of the box, unlike OpenBox. But in a lot of ways, OpenBox is a much better window manager than Fluxbox. Which it would explain why there's a million distros that use OpenBox as their window manager. Man, I really suck at gaming. This is why this is not a gaming channel. But you know what? At least I had the cojones to play a real game on my gaming stream. I'm not like a couple of other Linux channels out there that are gaming, driving simulated big rigs. No, I won't be driving an 18-wheeler here on my live stream and chatting, you know, while drinking a beer and just relaxing for the evening, get my legs kicked up. No. I'm playing a competitive first-person shooter. This is what we do on the DistroTube channel. Those other channels, we'll leave the big rig driving for them. Yeah, no farming simulations. I won't be doing any X-Plane simulations. LMAO, have you ever messed around with 2BWM? I have not. Never looked at it. TJ, yeah, you have fun with this and we have fun. Thank you. Yep. I would have gave up on the first practice session. Yeah. Well, I figured I would just play for a little bit. Honestly, you guys joining the stream, I really didn't even tell you the whole point of this was not to play this game. You guys know I'm not a gamer. I bought a new camera today. I made a video about that, just a quick unboxing video, but I just wanted to see it in action because my last camera didn't play well when I did live streaming in OBS. That's why on my previous live streams you never saw my camera. It would stutter a lot. And this one, I don't know how it looks to you guys, but I haven't noticed any problems on my end, but I'm going to re-watch it later, see how it looks. My old camera was a Logitech 615. This new one here I'm using is a Logitech 922. And what I suspect is that the Logitech 615, I don't think the problems were with the camera actually. When I changed cameras and the video looks a lot better without the stuttering, I think the cord, the USB cord connecting the camera to the computer was the problem, because also with my new camera it came with a new USB cord. So I didn't even think to check. You know, there's so many things you don't think of when you're troubleshooting problems on your computer, and I bet that cord was causing the problems now that I think about it. Because the camera, you know, was great for the most part. Only when I was live streaming, though, there was something strange that would go on with that camera. When I ran simple screen recorder and was just recording my desktop, it was fine. But live streaming, there was always something going on with that camera. Nothing on the desktop stuttered, you know, like the gameplay, if I was recording a game, would be fine. It was just that camera. This filthy casual is playing casual in a competitive game. Yeah, well, right now I have a beer in one of my hands, and I'm also trying to respond to Chad here in the chat. But even if I wasn't doing that, even if I was giving it my 100% full attention, I would still be doing pretty bad in this game. But how about I try a little harder this time? I'll try not to read the chat, because that is kind of distracting me a little bit here. Keegan the Tennessean, frag out. Hey Keegan. Alan, he's on Arch. Eric 40, thank you for the continued content. It's much appreciated. Thanks, Eric. Okay, where are we going, guys? We're all waiting to see who goes first. Okay, well, this idiot here that's running off by himself, I guess is going to be that guy. Well, let me follow him. Nobody wants to go through the door first. Uh-oh, flashbang. Or got a smoke grenade or something. Alright, no more fooling around. The bomb has been planted. We gotta go, guys. They're all hanging back while the terrorists are setting the bomb. My team is kind of garbage here. I should have been on Team Terrorist. Anyway, so the point of this is, you know, I'm probably gonna stream another 15 minutes or so, do like an hour-long stream. But really, I just wanted to see how my camera worked while I was live streaming. I had nothing planned. That's why I'm doing this gaming video, because I had nothing planned. I'll just open up Steam and just play a little bit. So, that's why we're not doing any distro reviews. That's why I'm not installing any, like, tiling window managers or, you know, doing anything like that. You know, usually I try to do stuff a little more educational. But tonight I just wanted to see how OBS and my camera worked, so. Keegan, good to see a fellow Southerner doing videos for the Linux world. It shows the rest of the world that some of us are actually kind of smart. I have my good days and I have my bad days, Keegan. As referenced by some of the videos I do. Dang, who in the heck? I didn't even see this guy behind me. I'm blinded.
A little bit. I don't think it's enough though.
Wow.
Watch out. He's behind that chair.
Make sure you don't shoot and run. Okay.
46.
So you need to be standing still when you shoot? Is that the trick? See, these are the things I need from you guys that are first-person shooter gurus.
I believe in them to kill him. Yes.
Even though, you know, after I shut down this stream, it may be a month before I ever log back into my Steam account. But still, for purposes of this video, try to help me not look like a complete idiot, please. Oh, this guy's got the bomb to detonate.
Yo, who planted a bee?
One of these days I need to be on Team Terrorist and plant the bomb, just to know how to do that.
Ooh, we won.
You know, this is not a noob-friendly game. I mean, a noob-friendly game would be something like Euro Trucks. Yeah. You know what? I should install the Euro Truck game. When I watch English Bob and Linux and other stuff, when I see them doing the trucking, I gotta admit, it does look like it would be kind of fun. But at the same time, it's like, what's the point? You're in a simulated truck driving down the road. Eric 40, never stop moving. Jump if you need to. Oh, how do you jump? I didn't know you could even jump in this game. See, this is the tips I need. It's full of cheaters, sadly. Yeah, I've noticed that actually in the very brief time I've been in it. I have joined a game or two that I haven't put on camera, like in that last video. I did run a few games before I actually recorded the one I was in, just so I know a little bit. And I did notice like people that were able to shoot you where there's no way they could have seen you, you know, behind walls and stuff. So and that's a pretty obvious tell that they're cheating in some way.
Across the map, I don't know how that happened.
Double rainbow all
I
the
don't
way.
think
Anyway, guys. I think I'm going to wrap this up. I might play one or two more here. And next time I do a video, I'll try to get back to the Linux content. Again, this was more of a test stream. Sadly, YouTube does not let you do a test stream in OBS. You actually get banned if you run a test stream, so I actually have to run a real stream and just see how it goes. How do I know OBS bans you for test streaming? Because they gave me a 90 ban one time for running the test stream feature in OBS. And apparently that triggers some kind of algorithm in YouTube. They think you're doing something scandalous. And they give you an immediate 90-day ban from live streaming. So you guys that use OBS and Linux, do not hit the test stream button in OBS.
Ooh, yay.
Oh, he's a.
Iron Man, thank you for the excellent Linux channel. You're welcome, Iron Man. I appreciate that. I'm still really just kind of learning what I'm doing, making videos. I mean, I've been making videos for 5 months. That is, I started this channel October 8th of 2017, so right at 5 months. So still very, very new to the game, even though I've made a lot of videos in that time.
I like overkill.
Lofi asks, do I program? I know a little bit of Python. I know enough Python to be dangerous. I have done like some web development and stuff. I mean, I'm comfortable with, you know, like markup language like HTML, CSS. I'm okay with PHP, JavaScript, a little bit of JavaScript, not much. Again, Python. I know a little Python. But I mean, I know enough where I could do. You guys have seen some of my open box pipe menus. A lot of those I write myself in Python. You know, but those are kind of simple kind of projects, you know. I don't ever plan on being any kind of app developer, you know. I'm not going to have my own audio player available anytime soon.
Watch out, one more cross. One more. He's top of mid.
To be honest, it's not something that interests me that much as far as programming these days. I mean, I enjoy it when I sit down and write something,
Fuck your day.
but I would definitely, it's not like a career path I would have chosen. But I have a lot of respect for the people that do program and do it well.
Fuck your bomb.
No, I don't know any C. Yeah. So yeah, kernel development is kind of out for me. I'm never gonna, sadly, I'm never gonna be able to work on the kernel.
Ooh, that's off. Ooh, feels bad.
Yeah, Lofi mentions Python's good. Yeah, Python is actually an excellent programming language. I mean,
I got your op. Don't
and
worry.
I told you I did some, you know, web development stuff. I've made a ton of websites over the years. I actually kind of did that for a living for a little bit. So I knew PHP pretty well, and knowing PHP a little bit really helped me learning Python. Both of those particular programming languages are actually pretty straightforward and easy to learn. Unlike the other day when I was trying to configure Xmonad and I opened up the Xmonad config, which is in Haskell, and it's like in a foreign language, you know. Alan, what do you think about the Tor browser? I like the Tor browser. I like the Tor browser. I like the Tails operating system. It serves a purpose. If you want to be completely anonymous,
Yeah, they're young.
that's the way to go.
Same magic stick, just like most ops in this game.
Lofi, he did some web dev too, and he hated PHP. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mind PHP that much. He said, yeah, the naming is weird. Yeah.
That grenade though. Flashing guns.
Nice.
Nice.
3, 2, 1.
They're going A.
I always wondered why PHP has always been kind of a web language. You know, you don't see like desktop stuff ever written in PHP. Well, I won't say ever. I've seen some really simple stuff written in PHP,
I
but
lost like 40 HP from that grenade.
and on the flip side of that, Python, you don't see a lot of stuff on the web in Python, even though it would work fine in that respect.
Ah, no, you got knifed. Oh, what is...
How about Haskell? I know enough Haskell to know that usually when I need to configure Xmonad, I'm copying down somebody else's config. That's what I know about Haskell.
Peek it. Peek it.
Actually, when I lived in Xmonad for a little while, I lived in Xmonad probably for about a year.
I didn't see that guy.
I did
I heard the shotgun.
buy
I
a
was like,
couple
wait a
of
second, that's not ours.
books or PDFs or ebooks. I think I had them on a Kindle. Learning some basic Haskell stuff, and I did read up on it a little bit, but not enough to say I know anything about Haskell.
Oh, other guy, yeah, they.
1v2 with a shotgun. Will he go John Wick?
Haskell's an interesting programming language, though,
Maybe.
Nice shot.
and a very popular one, oddly enough.
He killed John Wick. Nice.
Nice, killed him.
It was
You
so
couldn't kill him with that pencil.
You guys have ever logged into the Haskell channel on the Freenode network on the IRC chat channel? You guys fire up an IRC chat client sometime and go to Haskell and see how many people are in that channel. It is crazy how many people are in the Haskell channel.
Aw, you set That's
You know,
way
it's this
way too high.
web language or this programming language you never ever hear about. But there are so many people apparently
There we go.
that are into it.
You beat my expectations. I'm proud of you.
One more in tons.
That.
I'm gonna flash tons. Flash tons.
Anyway, I think I'm going to shut it down for this evening, guys. I've been streaming for about 55 minutes. Again, this was kind of an impromptu kind of
Come out, baby.
stream here. Again, just to test out some stuff. I really didn't have any kind of content planned other than me running around pretending like I knew how to game. So, I really, if I'd had a little more time, again, I just kind of threw this together last minute. What I should have done is at least had like some recent Linux news to discuss or something. But you guys in the chat were great. You guys kept things going a little bit with your questions and comments. Lofi, yeah, good night. Yep, good night, Lofi. I want to thank everybody that joined the channel. Lofi, LMAO, Mr. Ruby, yeah. I didn't mention hey, but you joined right here at the end. But hey, Mr. Ruby, we're about to shut it down for the evening. Thanks to Iron Man, Eric 40, Keegan, everybody else that joined the chat earlier. We had Toss in the chat. Q1 friend, this was fun. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Again, this stream here was mostly for me, but again, you can't test stream on YouTube. You know, you kind of have to do it live. So, but I'm glad some of you found this a bit interesting. So. I will mention some of the things planned for the channel here in the next few days before I go. I think tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at Neptune OS, the recent release of Neptune. I've already downloaded the ISO. I think tomorrow what I'm going to do is install it in a VM and take a look at it. For those of you wondering about the Obscure Window Manager project, the next Obscure Window Manager in the list to review is the Awesome Window Manager. And I know a little bit about the Awesome Window Manager. The Awesome Window Manager is not a difficult one to review because Awesome is pretty easy to use actually out of the box. It comes with a panel. It comes with a right-click menu. You know, the default key bindings and everything in Awesome make sense. Awesome is one of the easier tiling window managers actually to get started in. If you guys are just starting with a tiling window manager, you're wondering a good first tiling window manager to go with, Awesome is a great one to start with. But I need to do Awesome Window Manager sometime, probably in the next week. I'll probably get to it. At least I'm going to try sometime in the next week to get to Awesome. And that's all I have planned that I know of. I know I need to do Neptune probably tomorrow. Sometime in the next few days I'll get around to looking at the Awesome Window Manager. And then most other videos I make, I'm sure I'll make, you know, 5 or 6 videos in the next week. But most of the time I don't plan them out. I don't have any kind of set schedule. Just whatever I feel like doing that day. Most of the time I do very little prep work on my videos unless I just absolutely have to. Like if it's some topic that I know nothing about, such as when I did that video on FVWM, I had to put some time into that thing. But for the most part, you know, I just kind of wing it. So we'll see what we end up doing this week. Oh, I may do some more videos on hardware. I recently, you guys saw the video I did on my new camera and the scissor arm for this camera. I ordered a scissor arm for my Blue Yeti microphone. When it comes in, I'll review it. It's the Rodecaster PSA-1. Once I get that set up, I'll probably do a quick video and show you guys that. I think I also ordered a pop filter for the Blue Yeti too. So I'm trying to get some of my equipment here squared away on the channel. You know, try to take the equipment a little bit more serious for the channel. As the channel grows, the channel has been growing very, very fast here, really in the last 2 weeks. At the January 1st, I had about 450 subscribers, and the last time I checked, I had over 2,500 subscribers on the channel. And yeah, 2552. And I had a day last week where I got something like 80 subscribers in one day. So that is the kind of growth. I mean, it's been kind of exponential, really. I mean, the last 2.5 months, basically most of my subscribers have subscribed in the last 2.5 months. So a lot of subscribers very quickly. And I don't want to disappoint you guys. I want to keep making good content. I want to keep making better content. Actually, I want to get better at this. Both I want to make better quality videos in terms of content, and also better quality videos in terms of the equipment I use, the software I use. I still need to learn how to use some of this software that I use to make these videos. Things like OBS, which is why I was doing this test stream tonight. But anyway, enough of me rambling. I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks. Good night.